Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is more so geared towards students who are currently doing their examinations. I hope that you're having a good exam period so far, but I am aware that there may be a few setbacks and a few exams where you don't feel like you've completely performed to the best of your ability. So I'm here to give you some tips on how to get over a bad exam. So my first tip to you is what you do immediately after the examination. I have been a victim of this over and over repeatedly for many years. But my first tip to you is do not discuss the examination with your classmates. I repeat, do not discuss the examination. The reason being is that if you have done badly, you're just going to make yourself feel worse by talking to your classmates, because you're going to hear what they've done, what they've written, and you're just gonna think what you haven't written, and if what you've written is really wrong, and that is not good for your mental state. You're just going to be left in a worse position. Discussing the exam paper is kind of a waste of time, because if you think about it, there's absolutely nothing you can do about what has been done on that paper already. You're just going to mess with yourself mentally. You're just going to doubt your abilities, that what you've put on the paper. And in most cases, you're either going to beat yourself up because you're either going to realize something that you thought was extremely hard on the paper was actually really easy, but you just didn't realize it in the moment. And that's gonna put like a damper on your mood and your spirit and your drive going forward. It can have a positive. You may realize you haven't done as badly as you thought, but at the same time, if somebody else has done badly, then you risk putting them in a bad position as well. My second point to you is to let out your frustration. If you are frustrated about your exam and your performance, it makes no sense that you don't let it out. If you have to cry about it, if you have to complain about it to your parents, do that. But it's important that you take that time to kind of just let it out. If you are going to vent, if you're going to release this anxiety, this frustration, that is what is needed to help you get over it and move on and get ready for your next exam. I've been in that position. Like at the end of my MSc, I called one of my exams, I called my parents crying on the phone, and they tried to comfort me, but because of the expectations we put on ourselves, sometimes it's really hard to get over the paper, but it is so important, because that is just going to affect how you go forward, and it really isn't worth messing up a whole lot of papers because you underperformed in one paper. And this kind of takes me into my third point and third tip for you, which is to be optimistic. A lot of times we think we have underperformed when we actually haven't. We kind of set these high goals for ourselves, which sometimes is to get 100% on a paper. And yes, we haven't hit 100, so we feel a bit disappointed. But in reality, you actually haven't failed. So don't think that you failed. Be optimistic and realize that you were shooting really high. Maybe you're not there, you're here, but you're definitely not at the bottom. This was the case for me in my mathematics GCSE paper. Well, in my country we call it CSEC, Craven Secondary Education Certificate. I thought I failed. I really failed my math examination, but the thing was, I really wanted to get 100% for it because math was my life back then. I was distraught. My father had to keep telling me, look, you need to prepare for your geography exam tomorrow, blah, blah. And I was just like, no, I failed. But when the results came back, I got 3 A's, so that's an A-star equivalent here, and it was fine. So you have to be optimistic about that. And my fourth point is, after your exam, to take time to recenter and recover. Getting to the point where you're optimistic and getting over the venting, it takes a bit of time where you have to recenter, and it is in that moment that you're recentering, you're able to accept and move on. How long this time is really depends on your exam schedule. If you have exams tomorrow, then you're going to have to address these issues really quickly. If you have a couple days between your exams, then you can more so take an evening off. So what I would recommend is, if you have exams the next day, that you at least take an hour to 2 hours after to kind of recenter yourself. Cry if you have to, tell yourself, remind yourself that you can do it, but take time. Have a shower, have a good meal, just do something that you love to take your mind off of that. Maybe if you watch one episode of something really quickly, and then get a nap and restart your work preparing for the next day. If you do have like a few days between exams, I would say completely take the rest of the evening off. Do something that you love to de-stress, have a bath, have a good meal, and have a good night's rest, and that will help you to be in a better place mentally in terms of preparing and starting the next day. In that recentering phase, remind yourself that you have tried your best, you have done your best. If you have given your best to your examinations, then you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Remember, you've done your preparations, you've spent hours studying, you've been productive. Trust and believe that what you have put into it is going to reap positive results. You've gotten this far, you can't let one exam define you. You are not going to be defined by one examination. So don't let this affect how you perform going forward, because you are going to do great. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it helps to pick you back up in a way. Remember that you can do it. Remember, trust in your abilities. So good luck in the preparation for the rest of your examinations, and I wish you all the very best. Bye.